Morning everyone. Right, so just picking up with a couple of the normal everyday repairs to start with then. We've got the transit custom in for just a very small dent repair down there. Colour will be localised to there, but we always re-clear the whole entire panel, whatever the damage is on. It's just the best way to do things as far as I'm concerned. There's no potential for any edge blend failures or anything like that, so I'll get Tig to mask that up in a second in the booth whilst I continue with the golf repairs. So this one just needs sanding down one last time, so we're in high build now. The doors there, excuse the mess. Yeah, get this one sanded down whilst Tig marks that one up, then I'll respray that one, and then hopefully by the end of today be able to respray this one as well. I'll show you next door quickly as well. So the Hypersport as well, we are getting the poly in for that tomorrow, so that is going to be going into one more round of spray poly, which is fantastic news. So one step closer with that one. Mentioned in previous videos, it's just going to get it that bit straighter. And then this has turned up the other day, Mark IV. I believe it's going to be an RS Turbo replica. Don't quote me on that one. But also, it's got a little bit of welding work that needs doing. So I'm hoping that Kev from MRM Speed Shop is going to come along and do that for us. We've had a bit of a chat about it over the weekend. Not got a finalised plan on that just yet. I would prefer myself to be doing the, concentrating on the paintwork side of things, on what we're really good at the paintwork, rather than the welding. We can do welding, just takes us a long time. So I'd prefer that Kev did that, hopefully. We can concentrate on what we're really good at then, do the bodywork side of things and get this nice and straight. Yeah, get this one leaving really nice. So that is the plan at the moment. See how the week goes. Alright then guys, so that's the Jag back into the booth. Tig's done a fantastic job of masking this one up for me as always. Really, really good actually. It's going into spray poly tomorrow now, first thing in the morning. You can see we've got plenty of it. I think last time it used 4 tins for 3 coats worth. We'll probably do the same again this time around. It doesn't really need it. Areas like the roof are really, really straight. Doesn't need it technically, but since we're doing a whole car, we may as well do it again because it's just going to make it that little bit straighter again, especially as I've mentioned in the past, it is going to be a black. So yeah, we probably will go to the extent of putting another 3 coats on there. Again, most of it gets sanded off anyway, but yeah, it just gives us a really nice uniform, even coat to start sanding and make this car as straight as we possibly can, within reason, obviously. But on that note as well, actually, I just wanted to say a quick mention over to our suppliers over at Refinish Systems. I know I've mentioned them before in the past on the channel, but we use these guys for pretty much absolutely everything that you see in the shop, consumables wise. Everything comes from the guys at Refinish. can't thank them enough, to be fair. Everything that they do for me, every single thing I've ever asked of them, they get it on the website pretty much next day, or if I need any special orders in, they always sort me out. Really, really good bunch of people, fantastic to know. In all honesty, I don't think the shop would be nearly as far forwards as it is without suppliers like this in the industry, so huge thanks to the guys at Refinish. Just recently as well, actually, we've had a direct gloss colour mixed up for the engine bay on this one, and it's a metallic as well. It's going into a metallic black, which is kind of unheard of, but they've been able to do it for me, so that's going to help us out big time, because it just saves us basically. You know, there was a question about doing a Raptor finish on this one instead, but it would be so much nicer to do it in base and clear, but the budget's not there for it, so we're going to do it in direct gloss instead. And again, guys over at Refinish have been able to sort me out from that side of things, so hugely appreciative of that and everything else that they do for me. So yeah, just a quick note to those guys. Yeah, anyway, so the Jag is basically ready to go first thing in the morning. Bit of epoxy on the bare metal areas as per usual, and then straight into 3 coats of poly. That's the Jag back into one colour again. Really nice to see it back into one colour actually. It's when you've got so many different colours going on, it's difficult to see exactly what's going on in terms of how straight the cars are and what extra bits and pieces need doing. But yeah, back in one colour. We had a few issues with spraying the poly on actually. You might have seen in the previous videos, the gun was not behaving as it should be. Happens from time to time. So we had to clear it out a few times during the process and all that sort of thing. I don't know, just consistency wasn't quite there from pot to pot, but got it done anyway. It's not a problem with this stage whatsoever. It's just a little bit irritating, really. That's about it. Yeah, it's on there, just not quite as smooth as it could have been, but all gets sanded off in any case, so really not an issue. Yeah, like I said, nice to see it back into one colour, so it's looking good actually. I think there's a little bit more work to be done with that body line there, which again, we knew about in any case, which is why it's in this poly. The other side's good. Much happier with this side. We'll crisp it up, obviously, throughout the process, but yeah, I think just on this side, it's ever so slightly, a little bit wavy over the rear arch especially. So we'll sort that out, aware of it. That section right there as well, not quite right. Other than that, it's looking really good, to be fair. A lot straighter than it was, that's for sure. I'm taking care of all the pinholes. It's going to sit in this unit now for a couple of days, just before we can start sanding this one, just to make sure everything settles. Especially now that it's got colder as well. But yeah, rear bumpers come out nice as well. You can remember how that was before. So all in all, pretty happy with the progress on this one, really. Okay, so we're back in the prep bay with the S14. It's been a little while since this one's been on the channel actually. We've had it in the shop for quite some time. Been a bit of a slow burner this one, but yeah, get some more work done on it now. So we were having the biggest problems with the door gap along here. I finally figured out actually that the hinges on the front are a little bit, I can't do it with the one hand free, but yeah, the hinges on the front are a little bit perished and worn, so the door is just dropping down ever so slightly at the back. And the way that these particular catches are with the conical screws, they don't have any adjustment in them at all, so they just basically fit how they fit, and it just wasn't lining up quite how I wanted to, so we've done a bit of a different job on the bolts on here, just so that I've got a little bit of movement there. It's the only way that I can think at the moment. I'm going to have a proper think about it, but at the moment it's the only way that I can think to do it. to make everything line up. So obviously before, this door was really drooping down quite a bit, but it's lining up nicely now from all aspects. Happy enough with that. And we have finally now got that gap along the bottom. Obviously we had to grind this back quite a bit as well to start with, but we'll fill that back in. But it only just needs to be a flush fill, so it doesn't need to have any build on it really. And we have finally now got a gap along the bottom, so that's what we were really struggling with. So yeah, that side's good. Now it's pretty much there or thereabouts done, so I've just got to do a few final tiny little trim pieces around there so that the edges fit nicer, same on the front. And then I think we'll start working on the rear end then. First job for the rear, can't see it that well, but you've got a big crowned dent up here, so all of this section needs pulling out. Start on that, and then obviously start gapping up these areas better and get this all fitting nicer as well. So yeah, that's the first few jobs for the S14 I think for the week. The side skirts are looking a lot better than they did before, so we're getting there. So just a bit more gapping up work on this one then. So I've repaired the quarter dent. Well, I've rough repaired it because I know that there's going to be more skims of filler going over on this one, purely because of the way that the bumper fits. I wasn't happy with the way that the bumper was meeting the wing. It's not bad, but it's not flush. It's not flush like the doors would be. Obviously that door's open at the moment, but it's not a flush fit. It was just sticking out ever so slightly at the top, and it was inside at the bottom. So we will basically just bridge the two together with some fiberglass filler. Obviously there is a gap there, and we'll get that back in a second, but I'll just let this cure for a second, and then blade off the middle section just to get our gap back. Probably remove the bumper. We'll have to do this several times, on off several times over. Sand it all down so it's nice and flush, and then eventually you'll have a nice flush fit bumper. I can actually show you on the other side what it was before. I think this side fits a little bit better. Yeah, you can't even really tell on the camera here, but it does stick out. It's not nearly as good as it could be. Obviously these areas down here as well, so I need to trim the front. Basically what we're looking for is to get this all looking really, really nice and flush. It needs to look factory. Obviously it's a body kit, but I want it to look factory as possible. So yeah, get this all fitting up as nicely as we possibly can. It's these smaller finishing touches which really make a world of difference when it comes into paint, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, it's coming along nicely really.
That's the exhaust hole moved over then. Moved it over to the right hand side by about an inch or so, I think it was in the end, but we've centralised it nicely, and there is now a gap above it as well. There wasn't before. The bumper was actually resting on top of the exhaust, which is obviously no good at all. So we've made it work for this particular exhaust system. This is a brand new exhaust on here as well, so Frey will be keeping this on the car for at least a little while, I'm sure. Regardless, we've made it fit this exhaust now. It's just the rough finish at the moment, like I said, so I think next step is to take the bumper back off. I haven't done this top section at all. It's just going to be easier to take the bumper back off again, reinforce it from the other side first with more fiberglassing work, and then we'll cut a little V-notch into here most probably, so we can get some more fiberglass in from the front as well, make it all seamless, and obviously smooth up all the edges, finish off just the little imperfections and stuff. We had to bridge it out quite a bit actually on this bottom section. There's no issue doing it like that, it's just fiberglass essentially. That's one of the joys about fiberglass. You can do anything with it, so you can cut it, trim it, add to it, take things away from it really easily. As you can see, we've made that fit. Like I said, that is rough at the moment, but yeah, it's coming along. It's centralised now, so that's one extra thing off the list of things to do. Haven't started on this side yet. It's really difficult to get it on the camera how bad this looks to me in person. I don't think it looks nearly like, I'm looking at it through the phone here and it just doesn't look that bad. But if I was to paint this as it is, it wouldn't look good at all as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, that's that side. I'll show you what we've done on the other side so far to date. Hopefully you can see the difference. It is difficult again to see with all the different colours going on. So I've gapped this out. I did have this really tight, looking fantastic, but obviously we had to try and match the gaps around the rest of the car as well. Which I think I've just about done. To be fair, it'll look better when it's a really tight gap, but obviously we can't do that because that would just look silly compared to the rest, so we do match the gaps to the rest. This is going to be a flush fit, obviously. I think that's just going to look better like that. And yeah, hopefully you can see it's all lining up really nice now. So again, rough finish on this at the moment. Got to do the same with the other side, and then it's going to take one more skim of most probably glaze at this stage just to smooth it all off one more time, and refine it as we go basically. And then what do we want then? I think we've got to do the other side skirts, same as what we've done on this side, but I know how to do that now, so the repeat process on the other side is a bit quicker. And then it's just the general bodywork prep and everything. So there's a few tiny little dings, really small though on the doors. I think for some reason this door here is quite wavy. I think you can probably just pick it up. Yeah, quite rippled, quite wavy, so we'll take all of that out as well. But other than that, pretty sure from what I can remember, this car's looking pretty straight actually, so yeah, although it doesn't look like it, we are not far off now getting it into the next stages. So yeah, that's where I'm going to leave you for this week, guys. Not sure what we've got planned in for next week, to be fair. It's always busy, but we will see when we come to it. Yeah, have a good weekend. Catch you all next week.